it's getting cold. Meet your new friends. A tuckable sweatshirt. No need for hidden bras, belts, and extra folds around your belly. Hoodie of invisibility. Seeing someone you don't want to see? Put a hood on and blend in. No one will approach you, because you are nuts. And pants. Even outdoors, it feels like home. Coming this autumn, made by your gorgeous hands. So, let's get started. You need fabric. Sweatshirt fleece, brushed cotton blend jersey, same color on both sides, different colors, melange, huge rectangle, or in a tube roll. With the tube roll, be careful, as there's a seam line that sometimes can be seen on the right side of the fabric. So try to avoid cutting on it. In real life, it's much more visible than in a photo. Basically, any stretchy fabric that you like will work just fine. In this video, I am mainly working with a black cotton blend jersey, but some other colors will pop in as well. And this fabric is prone to shrinkage, so pre-wash it before cutting and using and sewing and all that jazz. And by the way, it's recommended to dry it flat. And when everything is clean and dry, press towards the grain line. Don't glide to the left and right. Trust me, you don't want to stretch it like a budget by the end of the month. Just press and move. Press and move. Steam is good. Steam is very good. For cuffs, waistband and neckline you can use a rib knit. However, sometimes it's hard to find one that matches the color. In this case, you can use your primary fabric. Later on, I will explain how to calculate the necessary width. You can cover the back neckline seam with a band. It's optional, but I personally like doing it. It should be wide enough to cover the seam, so roughly a centimeter or 3/8 of an inch wide. Pick an alternative color like on the blue sweatshirt, but make sure you have a matching thread. Or just pick a band that will match the garment just like the black one. You also need some matching spools of threads, 5 in total, 4 for the serger and 1 for a sewing machine. However, if you are making only one garment out of quite a unique color, 3 spools of threads and 3 empty bobbins should be enough. I just wind 2 bobbins and use them for a serger. It's exactly what I did with my lilac sweatshirt. You know, I'm like a cat lady, but instead of cats, I have a bunch of sweatshirts and hoodies. I just love sweatshirts and hoodies. Those are amazing. Can someone relate? Okay, let's get back to work. Then of course you need needles that are suitable for stretchy fabric for both serger and a sewing machine. The box should say ballpoint, stretch, super stretch, jersey. Those needles have a rounded tip which allows the needle to pass in between the loops rather than break the fibers. I'm using a serger to finish the raw edges. So let's set it up together. To see what we are working with, keep all settings neutral, like a 3, and stretch settings at 1. Take 2 scraps of fabric you are using for this project. 2 layers, just because that's how many layers we'll be serging through. Measure 10 centimeters or 4 inch, mark and serge. Well, look at this mess. On top, thread should snug and kiss, but these guys, they are clearly having a loose relationships. One end or two needs tightening. On the right side, when pulling scraps of fabric apart, stitch should be tight. In here, everything is loose. Number 4 needs tightening as well. And new measurement is almost 11, but should be 10. Need to increase the number on elasticity. And that is how it's supposed to look. On top, everything is even. So 1 and 2 are perfect. Straight stitches look tight. Open up. Yep, number 4 holds it together. Measurements 10. My final settings are 5, 3, 3, 4.5. Stretch 2.2, which is max, but every machine is different, so see what works for you. And I also had to unscrew the top one full turn to raise the foot, so it doesn't sink into the fabric. At start, when you insert the fabric, the foot is angled. For a smoother head start, insert a scrap of fabric behind. Now, serge your foot is even and you can serge away. All seams are 7 mm, which is a foot width for both sewing machine and serger. But I don't own a serger, you may say. It's okay. A regular sewing machine with a zigzag stitch will do the job. Stitch 2 layers at foot distance. Don't forget to backstitch. Set your machine to the zigzag stitch settings. Follow the needle movement pattern. Line up the raw edge of the fabric with the needle and stitch. And that is it. That is what it should look like. On the body's front, place the back bodice right sides together, pin the shoulder seams and stitch. Undo the thread chain and tie a knot. Hide a tail and cut off the excess threads. To reduce the bulk at the neckline, you can chop off the corners. Just make sure that the base stitch and threaded tail stay intact. It's optional, so you do you. Press the seam towards the front. In this case, seam direction matters. If the seam is lined to the back, then the back piece is elevated. Whereas if the seam is facing forward, then the front bodice is elevated. And that is what we want. It's just gonna look smoother in the front. Use a blind stitch foot to top stitch the seam. If your machine, just like mine, struggles at stitching from the very edge, just start slightly further away and stitch till the very end. And just finish stitching what is left. Ignore the guide as it doesn't align with anything right now. Just try to make it even. Most of it will be hidden by the sleeve anyways. Thread the needle and pull the loose ends to the wrong side, where they will tie a knot and happily ever after will hide in the seam together from people's judgment. Place the sleeve on the open arm side, right sides together, pin at the notches and serge. Press towards the sleeve and top stitch. Now let's move to the side seams. Turn to the wrong side and make sure to align the seams at the armpits. Pin and or baste and or stitch 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch to each side. Anything it takes to align. For basting, I used alternative color only for demonstration purpose. I would recommend to use the matching thread. Only and only when you are happy with the alignment, serge and hope for the best. And how does it look? Yes! Good news. All good. All good. It's good. Now, let's move to cuffs. See the rib knit fit. Wrap it around your wrist to determine what is the most comfortable fit for you. Only then, cut, stitch at foot distance, trim corners and midsection, fold and press. The sleeve is much wider than the cuffs. I personally enjoy this scrunched puffy muffin effect. However, if you desire more even folds, a gathering is an option. Stitch 2 rows of basting stitches, gather to the desired width, tie the threads and proceed further. Mark quarters on the cuffs, waistband, neckband or any other rib knit piece you are working on. Mark quarters on the garment as well, like the sleeve hem. Use chalk or pins. Align marks and seams. Ensure you pin all layers as sometimes they manage to escape the last minute, just like the main movie characters do. Villain? Why do you trap a hero and then just leave? stretch, hold, pin, search from inside while stretching. To search in the round, when you get close to the beginning, slow down. Cut the thread chain, remove the knife, keep going, try to perfectly overlap the previous stitch. Raise the presser foot, pull the fabric towards the back and search. Voila! With the matching thread, almost invisible. If you don't mind those little folds, you are golden. Lilac cuffs are what my pattern suggests. For the black one, I've decided to go narrower with all rib knits. And now that the cuffs are done, we do exactly the same with the neckband and waistband. Hold on, what if I don't have a matching rib knit? Use your primary fabric. To find the elasticity coefficient, measure 10 centimeters or 4 inches of the fabric and comfortably stretch. In my case, it is 12.2 centimeters. To figure out the elasticity coefficient, divide base measurement with stretched measurement, which is 10 centimeters divided by 12.2 centimeters, which is roughly 0.83. Measure the circumference of whatever you make it for. So cuff length is circumference multiplied by the elasticity coefficient. 27 centimeters multiplied by 0.83, which is 22.41 centimeters. So let's round it up to 22.5 centimeters. Add seam allowance and that's how much you need, 23.9 centimeters. And here I have a neckband, 2 pieces of the waistband and 2 cuffs. Cut cuffs and neckline concave towards the middle for the tighter fit. And proceed further, just like you would do with a rib knit, with all the pressing, pinning, stretching and serging. When you attach the neckline, you don't need to align the seams, as 2 seams at the neckline are a bit too much. The bulk at the neckline is too visible. That is exactly the reason why the band that covers the back neckline seam is attached further away from the shoulder seam. Let me explain. There is a back between the shoulder seam and shoulder seam. The band is in between, close enough to the shoulder seam, but never overstepping the boundaries. Such an underrated quality. Well done, neckline band. Fold the edge. You see the serger stitch? Attach the band just below. When you reach the other side, trim the extra so the band does not reach the shoulder seam. Fold and stitch till the end. By the way, if you are attaching a band of an alternative color, the upper thread should match the band, based at the very edge. Use a blind stitch foot to attach it on the right side, from shoulder seam to shoulder seam. Don't forget to match the thread colors. Stitch just above. Remove the basting stitch, preferably with something more reliable than scissors. Top stitch the front neckline and we are done. Waistband. Let's keep it quick. How to make a waistband with a rounded elastic will be explained in detail in the female hoodie tutorial. You need long round elastic, 2 stoppers as it cannot be endless. I hate you. Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. And hem tape. Serge the hemline. Mark the fold and the buttonhole. Place the hem tape on top and stitch. Tear the hem tape away. Pin through the top bar tag to avoid cutting through the buttonhole and rip it open with a seam ripper. Any remaining stabilizer residue will dissolve with the washing. Fold at the desired length, pin and stitch. Ooh, looks great! But you can't really see it, do you? On off-white, it's more visible. Thread the round elastic, tie a knot or hand stitch, evenly distribute and put the stoppers on. Put on your sweatshirt to give it a unique personality. And enjoy wearing your new, comfy, soft, made with love sweatshirt hoodie. By the way, a selection of prints is included with a pattern. More information is in the description below. Like and subscribe or else. For Halloween, you are not getting your favorite candy. Ha! Okay, have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye!